the speed of boat in still water is 15 kilometers per hour and the speed of the current is 3 kilometers per hour. The distance traveled by the boat from point A to B downstream is 24 kilometers more than distance covered by the same boat from point B to C upstream in the same time. How much time will the boat take to travel from C to B downstream? So again, not a very straight question, but let's decode it, right? See, he says the speed of a boat in still water is 15 kilometers per hour and the speed of the current is 3 kilometers per hour. So you know the speeds, boat's speed and current speed. So what will be the speed upstream? Upstream speed will be 15 minus 3, which is 12. What will be the speed downstream? Downstream speed will be 15 plus 3, which is 18. I don't have to explain you why. Then he is talking about the distances covered, right? The distance traveled by the boat from A to B downstream is 24 kilometers more when compared to the distance covered by the same boat from B to C upstream. So let's say there are 3 points A, B and C. A, B and C. So he says the distance traveled by the boat from point A to B downstream is 24 kilometers more than the distance covered by the same boat from point B to C upstream. So let's assume the boat is covering a distance of D kilometers from B to C. This is upstream, right? What will the distance covered by the boat from A to B? It will be 24 kilometers more. So which means it will be D plus 24. It would be D plus 24. This is downstream. You're able to follow? A to B is downstream, B to C is upstream. The upstream distance covered is D and the downstream distance covered is D plus 24. And the most important point in the question is that these two distances have been covered in the same time. Look at this statement. The distance traveled by the boat from A to B downstream is 24 kilometers more than the distance covered by the same boat from B to C upstream in the same time. Now this is the key here. Here is where the equation lies. Now the question says how much time will the boat take to travel C to B downstream. So we'll look at the real part of the question later, but let's first solve based on the equation. So same time, which means time taken from A to B is equal to time taken from B to C. Now what is time? Distance by speed. How much is the distance from A to B? D plus 24. Now since it is downstream, we have to consider the speed as 18 equals to time taken from B to C. Time is equal to distance by speed. Distance from B to C is D, and since it is upstream, we have to consider 12. Simplify this, 3 times and 2 times. So 2D plus 48 equals to 3D, which implies D is equal to 48 kilometers. Yes or no? 2D plus 48 equals to 3D. So 3D minus 2D, D equals to 48 kilometers. We have got the distance. We have got this distance, 48. If this is 48, what will this be? Downstream be D plus 24, 72. You're able to follow? 48 and 48 plus 24, 72. Now look at the question. How much time will the boat take to travel from C to B downstream? Time taken by the boat to travel C to B. And this is the downstream case. What is the downstream? What is the time? Time is equal to distance by speed. What is the distance from C to B? C to B, 48. Distance is 48. And what is the speed? See, since he's talking about downstream, we should consider the downstream speed. What is the downstream speed? 18. So 48 by 18. Simple. It's all about finding out the distance using that equation. Once you have got the distance, solving the question is a cakewalk, right? How much time will the boat take to travel from C to B downstream? C to B, the distance is 48. Speed, since it is downstream, see, C to B, in the original case, B to C is upstream, but when you are going from C to B, it is downstream. Remember, the question clearly says it is downstream travel. So how much time will the boat take to travel from C to B downstream? Downstream speed is 18. 48 by 18 is your answer. How much is 48 by 18? 8 by 3. 8 by 3 hours, which is equal to 2.66 hours, or which is equal to 2 hours and 40 minutes. I mean, it depends on the format in which the options have been given. 8 by 3 is correct, 2.66 is correct, and 2 hours and 40 minutes is also correct, because 0.66 hours is like 2/3 of an hour. 2/3 of an hour is 40 minutes. So your answer to this question is 8 by 3 hours.